The world is changing rapidly, and some cities may not withstand the challenges of the future. Rising sea levels, land subsidence, and natural disasters threaten the existence of many urban centers around the planet. While some nations try to find solutions to contain these problems, others may face an inevitable fate, disappearing completely. In this video, we will explore 6 cities that are at risk of vanishing in the coming decades, whether due to natural phenomena or human activity. If you enjoy content about curiosities, the environment, and the future of major cities, make sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss any updates. Now, without further delay, let's discover the cities that could cease to exist in the future. The world is changing rapidly, and some cities may not withstand the challenges of the future. Rising sea levels, land subsidence, and natural disasters threaten the existence of many urban centers around the planet. While some nations try to find solutions to contain these problems, others may face an inevitable fate, disappearing completely. In this video, we will explore 9 cities that are at risk of vanishing in the coming decades, whether due to natural phenomena or human activity. If you enjoy content about curiosities, the environment, and the future of major cities, make sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss any updates. Now, without further delay, let's discover the cities that could cease to exist in the future. Venice, known for its canals and historic architecture, is increasingly threatened by rising waters. The Acqua Alta phenomenon, which causes frequent flooding, has become more intense due to rising sea levels. Additionally, the city is sinking slowly, a process worsened by the past extraction of groundwater. The MOSE project, a system of movable barriers designed to contain tides, has been implemented, but its effectiveness is still debated. Meanwhile, residents and tourists continue to deal with flooded streets and an uncertain future. Tourism, essential to the local economy, is also a problem, as the excessive number of visitors wears down the city's structures. Historic buildings suffer from erosion, and pollution from boats contributes to the degradation of the canals. Some authorities propose limiting the number of tourists and investing in preservation, but the solutions are complex and not always well received. If the current rate of sea level rise continues, studies indicate that parts of Venice could be submerged by the end of the century. However, the city's dilemma is not unique, as other coastal regions also face similar challenges. Bangkok, one of the most dynamic cities in Southeast Asia, faces a growing problem. It is sinking by about 1 to 2 centimeters per year. This phenomenon is caused by excessive groundwater extraction, combined with the weight of uncontrolled urbanization. Additionally, the city is located in a low, swampy plain, making it highly vulnerable to rising sea levels. Experts warn that if nothing is done, large parts of Bangkok could be underwater by 2050. The government is already studying the construction of dikes and more efficient drainage systems, but the challenges are enormous. The impacts are already visible. Frequent floods disrupt daily life, damage infrastructure, and force thousands of residents to temporarily leave their homes. Disorganized urban planning also contributes to the problem, as the city grows without a structure capable of resisting climate change. Solutions, such as creating water-absorbing parks and restricting groundwater use, are being considered. However, Bangkok is still struggling to balance economic growth with sustainability, just like other cities facing similar battles against nature. New Orleans, known for its vibrant culture and jazz, is also one of the most vulnerable cities in the United States. Built in a swampy area below sea level, it relies on levees and pumping systems to prevent flooding. However, these systems are not always effective, as was evident during Hurricane Katrina in 2005, when much of the city was devastated. Additionally, coastal erosion and rising sea levels worsen the situation, making New Orleans increasingly exposed to severe storms. The city's challenges go beyond natural disasters, as the ground is sinking, and aging infrastructure makes any definitive solution difficult. Projects to restore wetlands and build storm barriers are being implemented, but doubts remain about their long-term effectiveness. The advance of climate change may make parts of the city uninhabitable in the coming decades, forcing mass displacement. Just like New Orleans, other coastal regions around the world are also facing the growing threat of nature's power. Mexico City, one of the largest metropolises in the world, is sinking at an alarming rate of up to 50 centimeters per year in some areas. The main reason is the excessive extraction of water from underground aquifers, a practice that has emptied the soil and caused land collapse. Built on the ancient Lake Texcoco, the city no longer has a stable foundation, making it even more vulnerable. This continuous sinking has caused cracks in buildings, uneven streets, and damage to urban infrastructure. Despite attempts to reduce reliance on aquifers, the city's water crisis makes this solution a major challenge. The impacts of this phenomenon are felt mainly by poorer communities who suffer from irregular water supply and the risk of buildings collapsing in some areas. The government is seeking alternatives such as rainwater collection and improvements to the water supply system, but implementation difficulties persist. Over time, experts warn that the sinking could further compromise the city's infrastructure, making some areas uninhabitable. Like Mexico City, other major metropolises also face the risks of unchecked resource exploitation. Miami, one of the world's most famous tourist destinations, is increasingly threatened by rising sea levels. The city already experiences frequent flooding, known as sunny day flooding, which occurs even without rain due to rising tides. Studies indicate that sea levels could rise between 60 and 80 centimeters by 2100, which would put much of Miami underwater. Despite investments in drainage and pumping systems, the city's geography, built on porous limestone, makes it difficult to retain water. Many experts warn that within a few decades, some areas could become uninhabitable. The real estate sector, crucial to the local economy, is already feeling the effects as residents and investors begin to question the viability of keeping properties in the city. Additionally, increasingly intense and frequent hurricanes drive up insurance costs and make reconstruction difficult. The Florida government has invested billions in containment infrastructure, but some projections indicate that these measures may be insufficient in the long term. Like Miami, other coastal cities around the world